Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Blake, and welcome to Midday with Mike. As always, delighted to be with you. And as always, we hope you're having a good day on this particular day. We begin our show by telling you about a new book. It's actually about 6 months old. It's written by a man named Thomas Fellows, and the title of the book is Mrs. Dubose's Last Wish, The Art of Embracing Suffering. It's a book in which all proceeds will go to suicidal awareness. It's a pleasure to welcome, he's currently in Houston, Thomas Fellows, the author. Thomas, thank you for being with us.
Yes, Mike, thanks for having me.
I understand you're a native of Atlanta. Give us a little bit about your background.
Yes, I'm originally from Atlanta. I moved to Houston about 18 months ago. So, been in two of the biggest cities of the South. I am in technology sales. I'm, also a writer. I write self-help books, and so.
Right. Now, if you're familiar with the classic To Kill a Mockingbird, there's a character, Mrs. Dubose, and the title of Thomas's book, as I mentioned, is Mrs. Dubose's Last Wish: The Art of Embracing Suffering. Interesting title. How'd you come up with the title? What inspired the book?
Yes, so the book is based off a little-known character in To Kill a Mockingbird named Mrs. Dubose, who suffers on purpose to rid herself of a morphine addiction. So she gets Atticus to get his son Jim to read to her to distract her from the pain she's going through with the morphine, withdrawal and so forth. And I make the claim that the best suffer on purpose to achieve true greatness in life. There's also another book that inspired the book. It's called The Road to Character by David Brooks. And in that book, he talks about how we shoot for happiness, but we're formed through suffering. He also says recovering from suffering is different from recovering from a disease. You don't come out healed, you come out different.
I got you. And if I'm correct, in making his points, you actually make your points in this book through Scripture. Is that right?
Yes. I focus on Job in this book, but I want this book to be accessible to all religions. I have a beautiful quote from the Quran, 94:5, verily with every difficulty there is relief. I also have a quote from Buddha and a quote from a Hindu philosopher.
And you're also, with regard to the arts, you can make your points through music, movies, stuff like literature, and of course history, correct?
Yes, so T.I. and Rihanna are in this book, Dave Matthews, John Mayer, Martin Luther King Jr., Robert E. Lee, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and James Oglethorpe, who founded the state of Georgia.
We're going to get to in the next segment. There's a very personal connection, an important connection in writing this book. But now that you've written it and have written other things, what'd you learn about yourself, Thomas? Was this a challenging book?
This is the most powerful book I will have ever written, by far. Just because it was pretty personal, because I struggle with mental illness myself. I'm on 5 medications. I have bipolar, OCD, and ADD. I wanted to make so, no one ever commits suicide again because of this book.
And also, he was going to come in for a book signing. Have you rescheduled the book signing?
Hopefully it'll be in June or July. That is, if we don't have another variant. So.
Talking to Thomas Fellows, an author of Mrs. Dubose's Last Wish, The Art of Embracing Suffering. You're watching Midday, and we're coming back, but first, these messages.